Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's live session. I've titled it that I retired at 60 because I stopped manifesting and started investing in the Nigerian stocks. You see, manifesting is a very hot, very trending topic now. And in fact, it didn't even start now. There were the days of Bob Proctor and The Secret. I met Bob Proctor personally, physically, in 2007 in Los Angeles. We had a program and I met him physically. So he was the star of The Secret. I don't know how many of you remember The Secret movie. Fantastic movie, very good at the time. So there's been a lot of conversation around manifesting. But you see, what I've discovered and what I'm going to lay down for you tonight is not just that you cannot manifest your way into financial freedom. You can pray and fast, you can do your vision board, you can declare affirmations that money is coming, money cometh. But until you consistently convert part of your income into assets, your financial future will remain only a wish. And I need you to underline that, because everything else I'm going to tell you this night will flow from there. Until you consistently convert part of your income into assets, Warren Buffett said you will work until you die. I'm going to show you practically today. I know some of you are at the beginner level. Some of you have been asking me, sending me DMs and asking me, how can I start investing? How do I start buying shares? I'm going to not just talk about that for beginners, but I'm also going to show you. I'm going to show you practically. And then tonight, you will start, if you don't have your own stockbroking account, you will get one tonight. So this is a coaching session. It's not teaching, because I want you to come out of this with something very, very practical, something you can start implementing like tomorrow morning. And so if you are over 40, you know, you guys are my demographic, and it's not that younger people don't benefit from my channel, but I started this channel specifically for people in the later half of their lives who have been forgotten financially, who have also been forgotten by society, to give you hope, to let you know that even if you made mistakes like I did in the first half of your life, that is not the end of it, you know, financially speaking, and then in terms of your spirituality. So if you're over 40 and then you are still waiting somewhere for the universe to write you a check, I need you to stay with me for the next couple of minutes, because I used to be like that as well, but it has changed. You know, for some of you, you turn 45, and then from 45 you turn 50, from 50 you're 55, and you are still telling yourself that next year my breakthrough is coming. And I know that a lot of pastors, you know, have that fantastic gift of coming up with very nice sounding themes. This is the year of my breakthrough, this is the year of my this is the year of my that. And then people have been having all this, you know, for the past 5 years, 10 years, 20 years of their lives, and their finances have not changed. So I'm going to show you right now how to start your investment account if you're a beginner in the stock market. And then from there, we will advance for those of you who are already investing in Nigerian stocks or stocks in the US or stocks anywhere. You are going to see why immediately after this, you will open an account and start saving and investing. You know, becoming wealthy is not as complicated as they have made it for us. You can become wealthy. That was my journey. I'm 60 plus. And I used to think that becoming wealthy was very, very complicated. And then it was something that was the privilege of people from very wealthy families. But becoming wealthy, make a note, everybody. Okay, make a note. 4 steps. Step number 1, earn money. You've got to earn money. That's actually where the whole thing starts. And then there are many ways to earn money. You can check my video on this channel that is called 7 Timeless Ways to Make Money. Timeless, so you must make some money. It can be starting with a job. It can be starting with a business. It can be solving a problem. It can be creating a digital product. It can be teaching other people some skills, some experience you have, but you've got to earn money. That's number one. Please type it in the chat section. Number one, earn money. Number two, save money. Now, your wealth will grow to the degree that there is a wide gap between your income and your expenses. It has never been easier. I think it was Benjamin Franklin. We used to have, when I was in primary school in the 1970s, I think I read something, or maybe it's a nursery rhyme. He was talking about, there was an adage that if you earn 20 pounds and spend 21 pounds, you'll be poor. But if you earn 20 pounds and you spend 15, you are going to become rich. Because nobody can ever get rich spending everything they own, they earn. It is as simple as that. Please do not let people complicate the subject of wealth for you. It all begins by making sure that you do not consume everything that you earn. Stop giving yourself excuses like, oh, I don't earn enough money, that by the time I finish paying the bills, that there's nothing left to save. No. The step one is to earn money. Step two is to save. Save. You must save. Don't worry. Well, I'm going to qualify the saving I'm talking about. Saving just means that you don't spend everything. I'm not talking about putting it in the savings account in the bank where the value will continue to diminish because of inflation. No. I'm just saying that you must never finish everything you earn. It does not matter whether you work in Shell like I did, or you work in tech, or you work in a school, whatever. Never finish what you earned in the month. Then number three, invest and reinvest. And that's what we're going to be focusing tonight, because I'm going to teach you how to invest in Nigerian stocks. For those of you who haven't already done that, who haven't already started doing that. And then, of course, if you're already doing that, you're also going to learn a lot today. Okay, so step three is invest and reinvest. So, like my investments, I get dividends. I'm also going to give you the examples of dividend-paying stocks in the Nigerian stock market that continue to pay you. And some people are earning millions in dividends, millions in dividends. When I started investing in 2003, I was getting dividends like 600 naira, 2,000 naira, 3,000 naira, and all that. But fast forward today, I'm getting dividends that are 1,000 times. Yeah, that are like 1,000 times what I used to earn. 1,000 times what I used to earn in 2003. And this is the power of investing. This is the power of creating wealth. And then step number four, wait. That is the most important step. Patience is the most important wealth strategy. Many times you don't even have to do anything. You don't have to do something complicated. You don't have, okay, invest in crypto and then make 50,000%, overnight. You don't need that. All you want to do is wait. So let me recap the 4 steps to becoming wealthy. Anybody in this call, anybody listening to this can become wealthy. The step number 1, earn money. Generate some cash flow. Number 2, do not spend everything you earn. Save part of it. And then number 3, apply what you've saved to invest and reinvest. So you can invest into some asset, it generates dividends, and then you reinvest the dividends. You can invest into a rental property, and then you reinvest the rent in your real estate business. And then number 4, wait, be patient. Be patient. Can I tell you the secret of wealth that all wealthy people use, including Femi Otodola, who just made serious billions in his investment in FirstHoldCo? Can I give you the one word, the one secret? It's called compounding. Everybody type compounding. Compounding. Yes. Okay. So good evening, Festus from Abuja, Stephen from Nasarawa. Yes. Let me know where you're all joining from. I think someone else had joined that said it was from France. Yeah. Let me know where you are joining from. What country you're joining us from. So those are the steps to getting wealthy. Compounding is the secret. Okay. So I started buying Nigerian stocks in 2003, and then stocks like GTCO, GT Bank, it used to be GT Bank in those days, stocks like Zenith Bank. And then I remember one stock, it used to be called Cement Company of Northern Nigeria. That's what has become Boa Cement. So I remember Stanbic IBTC. I remember MTN, when MTN came up and all that. I remember Presco. So these are among the assets that have helped me to retire at 60. So now, for those of you who are new, let's do something practical. I'm going to show you, I'm going to demo a couple of things for you, okay? So, because first of all, many of you send money to people. Some of you say, I want to invest in the stock market. And then somebody comes and says, send money to you, I will invest for you. I'm holding your 2 ears. I'm holding your 2 ears, not mine, to say, please do not send money to anybody to invest for you. And then there are a lot of people with different accounts that have my face and then my name. And then you think it is me, but it's not me. Those are fake accounts of me. And those people will be asking you to send them money, In other words, send me money, let me invest for you. I do not ask anybody for money to invest for me. That's how people to invest for you. That's how people scam you. So don't go around asking for and then looking for somebody to give money to invest for you. I'm going to show you right now how simple it is. Do it by yourself. Do it by yourself. So what are shares to start with? Just the basics. What are shares? Shares are, if you take a company, let's say like First Bank. First Bank is the most capitalized bank right now in Nigeria. After their stocks did 135, 136 or something like that yesterday. So let's take First Bank as a company. If you take that company and then you break it into pieces, little pieces, maybe like 40 billion pieces. You break that company into 40 billion pieces. Those 40 billion pieces are called shares or stocks. Now, everybody goes and says, all right, I want to buy 1,000 shares, 1,000 pieces of FirstHoldCo. And then you buy 1,000 pieces. Another person will say, I want to buy 1 million pieces of FirstHoldCo. So somebody buys 1 million. That is what you call shares. So you have 1,000 shares. This other person has 1 million shares. So now, what is the stock price? As of today, FirstHoldCo closed at 130, meaning that the person who has 1,000 shares, that the value of your ownership, because each of those shares gives you ownership in the business. And then you know that ownership is the vehicle to wealth. If you don't own anything, you can't be wealthy. That's why just depending on salary, being a 9-to-5 salary person, it does not matter how much you earn in your salary. The day you stop earning or stop working, that's the day everything disappears. But when you are an owner, your money works for you. So what it means that if you have 1,000 shares in FirstHoldCo, it means that you have 1,000 employees, 1,000 shares working for you. You probably bought those shares when it was 50 naira or when it was 60 naira. Today is 130 naira. So it's been working for you without your own effort, whether you are sleeping or awake. So those are shares. The other person who has 1 million shares has 1 million parts, but both of you are owners in the market. So now, what is stock market? Just like you have market, commodity market, supermarket, you go to the market, to the commodity market, for instance, and to your rural markets. So somebody is selling pepper, another person is selling crawfish, another person is selling tomatoes, another person is selling vegetables. So this represents the companies, the different companies, just the same thing that you have in the stock market. So these are stocks. And then if you come to the section of the tomato section, you have several people selling tomatoes. And then you may go to one person, and then the person tells you, my tomatoes is 1,000 naira. And then you bargain. You say, okay, can I give you 900? And then you say, no, you can give me 950. I said, okay, well, let me check another seller. I go to another seller. That seller says, I can sell my own 800 instead of 950. So what do? You buy the tomatoes from this person who sells 800. So the stock market is exactly the same, where the companies come to trade the stocks, where they come to trade the shares of their company. So it's called stock market. So instead of buying and selling tomatoes or onions or fish, you are selling stocks of businesses. You are selling Zenith Bank stocks, you're selling Dangote Cement stocks, you're selling Nestle stocks, UACN stocks. That's why it's called stock market. So you go there and buy. And just like you bid for the tomatoes prices, you can also bid for the shares of the company. So, for instance, I have 1,000 shares in FirstHoldCo, for example, and then I want to sell 500. So I put it there. That's where you're going to need stockbroker. That's where you're going to need stockbroker, which is the next thing we're going to see. And then you will open your stockbroking account if you don't have already. I will show you practically how to open it. So stay with me. Stay with me. We are building this context. I'm building it so that you will have full understanding of what this is about. So I say, okay, I want to sell my own 500 shares of FirstHoldCo. I want to sell it for 140. Another seller might have an urgent need for money. And he says, oh, my own, look, I can sell it to 125, or I can sell it 130 instead of 140 to you. So you are the buyer. You now come to the stock market. You see someone is selling their own 500 shares of FirstHoldCo for 140 naira. And then you see another person that is selling their own for 135 naira. So what do? You buy the 135 naira. So that's what the stock exchange, the stock market, allows you to be able to buy and trade shares. This is amazing. I've taken time to explain this to you because this was particularly key to my retirement. This was particularly key to my retirement. And of course, when I say retirement, remember I told you before, I've told you in a previous video, that retirement is not age. People say, oh, retire at 65 or 70 or something. No, retirement is not an age. Retirement is a portfolio. Put it down. Put it down in the comment section. Retirement is a portfolio. Why is it a portfolio? Because if I have a portfolio that takes care of my bills, if I invest in assets, maybe I started investing at age 25, and then by 40, I've accumulated enough assets, generating dividends, passive income, that will take care of my lifestyle in retirement, that will allow me to fulfill my purpose, to travel around the world, to pay hospital bills for people, to adopt children from around the world, to do that. If I have it, then I can retire. So as I am now, I do not have to go out there chasing anything. working in order to pay my bills. So I just need you to understand my concept of retirement and how the Nigerian stock market helped me to be able to do that. Yes, I've only seen one person type that. Type in the comment section, retirement is a portfolio. So you can retire at 35, you can retire at 45, you can retire at 50. Just set the goal. You tell yourself, okay, how much do I need in retirement? Maybe in your retirement, you need 2 million naira every month. So that's going to be 24 million. That's what you're going to be needing. Now you're 30 years old, and then you're asking yourself, what assets can I begin to acquire today such that by the time I am 50 years, that asset will be able to generate passive income for me to the tune of 2 million naira a month or 24 million a year. And there are people who have gotten some money, who have stayed in the market enough to be able to have money to put in something like the treasury bills or in bonds. And then when you invest, for instance, in the federal government savings bond, they pay you every quarter. And then sometimes you can get the bond at 14%. There was a time it was even 17, 18%. I don't know what it is right now. The August bond, maybe somewhere between 14 and then 15% and all that. That's quite some bit of money. And they pay you that. So when you have a portfolio that generates passive income, that takes care of your bills, your medical things, your housing, your travels around the world, then your own pet projects, that is retirement, where you no longer have to work because right now your money is working for you. Okay, so now let's talk about how to open your stockbroking account, because so many people have been asking me, I want to start buying shares. How can I do it? So the first thing is that you need what is called a stockbroking account. What is a stockbroking account? You see, to be able to trade in the Nigerian Stock Exchange, you need a broker. You need somebody that is licensed through whom you can buy and sell shares. And then the wonderful thing right now is that it is not something you need to even call anybody. You don't even need to talk to the stockbrokers, because most of the stockbrokers right now have trading platforms. They have trading platforms that allow you to directly trade. I was in the US, and then I was buying and selling my shares, the shares I needed to buy. I was managing my portfolio. I was in Ghana the other day. I had access to my portfolio. I had access to the market. And then the Nigerian stock market opens between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Lagos time, every single business day. So you need a stockbroking account where you will fund that account, and then it is the money that you fund in your stock brokerage account that you will use to buy and sell shares in the Nigerian stock market. So now, to open a stockbroking account, you don't go to the bank. It's not the bank. Because somebody was asking me the other day, okay, should I go to the bank? I want to buy Zenith Bank shares. Does it mean I should go to Zenith Bank to buy the shares? No. You open an investment account with a licensed stockbroker. So first thing I'm going to do is to show you where you can find a list and how you can find a list of the licensed stockbrokers in Nigeria, because you should not give money to anybody, just anybody. You should not just give money to anybody by word of mouth. Somebody tells you, okay, he's whatever. No, you don't give money to anybody just like that. So this is where you will find the list of Nigerian licensed Nigerian stockbrokers. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. You just give me a moment to be able to do that. All right, so let me show you. Wonderful things that all these things are online, and so you can always find this information online. Okay. Okay. So let's share that new tab. Just let me know if you can see. Just thumbs up in the chat section if you can see my screen. So you can simply go to Google and type list of licensed stockbrokers in Nigeria. So it's going to take you to, there's a particular site, the site. The NGX stands for Nigerian Exchange Group. So you go there and then you will see all the active members. There are inactive members. There are people who are registered. What you want is actually the active members and the ones that are registered. So if you look at the list, you will see that Absa Securities is active while Adamawa Securities is inactive. So you can't open with this. And what you can do, you can actually filter by saying active members. All right. And then it shows you all those ones that are active. So you can see all the licensed stock brokers in Nigeria. And what happens is that if you now want to open with them, there are quite a number of them. You can go to the second Google page. So if you see one that you like, you can just click on them and then get some information about those people, how to contact them, and that. But the first thing you need to do is to see the list of the licensed stockholders. So I clicked on the Coronation Securities Limited. It is active. It tells me where their head office is. It gives me their phone numbers and then their email. Okay. So this is where, so the first thing is to find the list of licensed stockbrokers in Nigeria. It is important. I keep stressing it. Open with only licensed stockbrokers, because these ones are supervised and regulated by the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, and also by the Nigerian Exchange Group. You don't want to put money with this, keep money with the stockbroker that is not licensed, that doesn't have their record here on the NGX group. So that is one. So the next thing I want to show you is you can actually, let me show you an example of one of the stockbrokers that we use, or that I use. Okay, so I'm not recommending them, but I'm just taking you through the process of how you can open your stockbroking account this very night, immediately after this. And we have them in my Financial Fitness Challenge group. If you are not a member of my Financial Fitness group, which is my mentorship, you want to consider joining. The details are in the description section of this. When you join, I'm also going to show you how to join the Financial Fitness Challenge, because when you enroll, you are going to get two things. You are going to get login access to private videos, wealth mentorship videos that I made specifically for the group. And then you're also going to get a link to join my Telegram group, where we discuss things that only the people who are subscribed in the program are. So if you want to be part of my wealth mentorship group, you're very welcome immediately after this to subscribe, to enroll. Okay, so now I'm going to show you one example of a stockbroker that you can use. So it's called so that stockbroker is called, one of the stockbrokers that I use is called Atlas Portfolio. So you go to this link, and what I can do, this is the account opening form. So what I can do is I can copy this and put in the chat section for you right now. I will also put the list. And of course, you can always come back to watch this video. So for those of you who do not have an account, a stockbroking account, this is the very first step. Go to this link, and then these are all the requirements. These are all the requirements. And because this is financial industry, they take privacy and everything very, very serious. You are going to give this personal information, your name, your phone number, email address, your bank name. It's important to put your bank name and the bank account number, because they will be paying you. All the dividends that you're going to receive will automatically be paid here. When I started investing in the stock market, Nigerian stock market, it was unfortunate because dividends were dispatched as paper dividends. So you had to go to your post office or go to a postal address, take it, and then go deposit it in the bank. It was extremely complicated. And then it was not uncommon for people not to pick up their dividend slips because maybe they live in Benin and then their postal address used to be somewhere in Lagos. So they just leave it. But today, your dividends are automatically paid directly into your bank account. So that's why it's important to have your bank account here. Then your next of kin information, your phone number, relationship with your next of kin. Okay, like in my own case, my next of kin is my wife. So I have her own phone number here, and then relationship with me is my wife, and then address. Now, this is the most important part because this is what will delay your account opening if you don't have these documents. You are going to need to upload a valid means of identity. So it could be your driver's license, it could be your international passport, it could be for Nigerians, what is it called? This NIN, National Identification Number, or something like that. Then you're going to upload your passport photo, very clear, well taken passport photo showing your full face and then your eyes. And then you upload a utility bill that is not later than 3 months old. So it could be your waste collection bill. Okay, so like in our estate, there's a waste collection bill because the waste collection is tied to your address. It could be your electricity bill, your utility bill, and it doesn't matter if because for many of us in Nigeria, the electricity meter is in the name of your landlord. So sometimes people are, should I use it? Yeah, you can use that. They accept that because it shows the address. The address should match the address you're giving them. And then you upload your signature. So it's very easy to do your signature. For those of you who use iPhone, it's extremely easy. I think it's also easy in other apps. You just take a picture, you sign your signature, take a picture, and then use some app like Preview in iPhoto to remove all the backgrounds and then to just have your signature. And then you basically put your full name here. And then within, like they will tell you 72 hours, that's like 3 working days. So if you fill the form right now as we're speaking, Tuesday, by Friday, you should have, before Friday, you should have your account. So save this and then use it. Save this and use it to open your stockbroking account. Don't give anyone money to invest on your behalf. You do it by yourself. Okay? Is this valuable? Fantastic. All right. So Eli Ahunsi 105 says I want to join. Yeah, so just go to actually, let me also show you. We can actually see how to join the Financial Fitness Challenge. Let me just show you right now. So Financial Fitness Challenge. Okay. I need to share this one now. Okay. So you go to this link, which I'm also going to copy and put in the chat, for you. Go to this. Depending on the part of the world that you're watching from, you will see the equivalent in your own currency. And so when you are here, you just click the buy now. It will bring out all this, and you feel all that. So good thing is that you can also do direct bank transfer, and then there are so many other ways. I think you can even pay with PayPal. There are many other ways. So once you fill your details and pay, you will receive an automatic email, and in that email you are going to see a link to the private course area, the videos and worksheets and all that. And then you're also going to get a link to join the private Telegram group. Okay, so I've shown you how to open a stock brokerage account. The next thing I'm going to talk about is how do you buy shares? How do you buy the shares that we are talking about? The shares that allowed me to retire, the shares that pay me very good dividends that I used to sort out bills. But before we talk about how to buy shares, you also need to know the shares, the list of companies that are quoted on the stock market. And so I'm going to show you another site where you will see all the companies that you can buy in the Nigerian stock market. All the companies you can buy, you need to have a list and to know how they are organized into different sectors. Then, so I'm going to show you that, because I don't just want to talk about it. I want you to be able to go back, watch this video, and follow the steps. Go to these same places instead of just talking about it. So I'm doing show and tell instead of just tell you about it. So let me share the screen again. So this time, you can actually just type listed companies, okay, in the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So what I will do is I will also copy that and then put for you in the chat session. Is somebody finding this helpful? If it's so, just type value, type value, type value. Let me make sure I'm connecting with you. If this is useful to you, just type useful, type useful. Okay, if these demos are useful, type useful in the comment section. Okay, so instead of just talking about it, I'm just showing you the thing is within reach. It's not complicated. Building your retirement or building wealth from this night that I'm talking to you is not complicated. That's why I'm just showing you all this. So if you come to the listed companies, you will see what you can do here is look at, I actually wanted to see all of them are supposed to be listed here. Okay, so let's take them one by one and see the main board and see what happens. All right, so these are the companies that you can buy, you can trade in the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So let me explain these boards. So the companies in the Nigerian Stock Exchange are listed or categorized in several boards. So you have the premium board, you have the main board, you have the, I think this is alternative securities market board, and then this one is growth board. And I'm going to show you the companies that are in each of them. There are criteria for listing in the premium board. I don't have that offhand, but it's something you can also find from their website. So now, the premium board companies, the companies listed in the premium board, it's not all of them. It's not all the companies in Nigerian stock market that are in the premium board. So you have Access Bank, you have Dangote Cement, FirstHoldCo, HBM Nigeria Limited. It used to be Lafarge. Of course, you have MTN, you have Seplat Energy, you have UBA, and then you have Zenith Bank. So these are companies, premium companies that you can buy from the Nigerian stock market. Now, there's another board called the main board. This is where you have majority of all the companies that are listed in the Nigerian stock market. Abe Bank, Academy Press, ICO Insurance. So you take a look at all of them. Okay, so in a follow-up live session, I can show you how you can so easily analyze each of these markets, each of these companies, because you don't just buy any company. You've got to have an investment goal, and then you also have to have an investment criteria that will govern the companies that you want to invest in. So this is where you have Cadbury. You keep hearing Cadbury, you hear Charms, you hear some people talk about, there are quite a number of them. In fact, you can actually say, instead of 25 entries, I think you can have, we can have up to 100. We can have up to 100 entries on a page. So you see all of them. You know, you may have heard people talking about Ella Lakes. You may have heard people talking about FCMB, Fidelity Bank. This is where they are all listed. This is where you begin to answer the question, which company should I invest in the Nigerian stock market? Then you have the growth board, and this is where you have some of my favorite companies like TIP. Okay, this is where you have TIP. This is where you have Chela Rams. This is where you have Zichisagro and all that. So this is where you find all the companies listed in the Nigerian stock market that you can invest in. Let me see what other demo I can give you. Okay. Some of you who are starting out might be wondering, what stocks can I start with? And since we are talking about dividend stocks that allowed me to retire, if you have, let's say you have let's say you have 10,000 naira or 20,000 naira that you want to invest in the market tomorrow. Let's say you are starting with 10,000 naira. Because the other thing is that you shouldn't wait for bulk money. Many people are waiting until they have millions before they start investing. But that's a big mistake. So don't wait until you have millions of naira. You can start with 5,000. You can start with 20,000. And I plead with you, daddies and uncles, start investing for your children. If your children are under 18, you can open what they call, it's just dancing in my, please type in the comment section if you know what I'm talking about. Minor account or something like that. There's an account for minor. So you can open account for your children, even if they are 2 months, even if they are 2 years old, you open for them today. I did that for my children when they were like 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. And I remember one of the stocks I bought for them at the time. One of the stocks I bought for them at the time was FirstHoldCo. FirstHoldCo, I don't remember how much it was. It could have been somewhere around 5 naira when they were, so this was like 2004, 2006. That was like 20 years ago. I bought them shares of First Bank at 5 naira or something like that. I have to check like how much, but something ridiculously low. And today that First Bank is doing 135. And so if you start investing for your children before they finish school, by the time they come out of the university, they have enough money. They won't bother you. They have enough money to do whatever it is that they want to do. If they want to start a business, if they want to go pursue their master's degree, you already have something for them, because the beauty and the strength of the stock market is time. It's time. It's long-term thinking. It's if you are giving yourself 10 years, 20 years, it is not a get-rich-quick thing. You know, unfortunately, the Nigerian environment has conditioned people for get-rich-quick thing. The stock market is not get-rich-quick place. It's not a place for gambling. It's a place you enter with a clear head, with a clear objective, and with a long-term objective. So you can imagine stocks are bought for them. Thousands of stocks are bought for them. Shares. in First Bank at 5 naira or something like that. Today is 130 something. And they are doing well. They don't even know, but that money will continue to be there waiting for them. If you have nephews and nieces, the best gift you can give them, maybe they are students. I do that also for them. They are students right now. Give them money, 10,000, 20,000. So instead of buying them birthday gift, tell them, nephew, this 20,000 or this 50,000 naira that I want to use to buy you this, I want you to invest it in shares. They will not understand what you have done for them until in another 10 years time they open that thing, and they will be shocked because they'll be seeing figures like 30 million, 20 million, and they don't know where it came from all those 5,000, 50,000, 25,000 that you gave them. That's a fantastic thing to do for them. Okay, so which stocks will you buy if you're starting out tomorrow as a new person and then you have only 10,000 naira or 20,000 naira? I would recommend that you buy only one stock. You can buy only one stock with 20,000 naira. Don't put it into too many stocks, even if it is 100,000. If you have 100,000, you can buy two. So if you have 10, you're starting with 10,000. I can recommend a stock like United Capital. Okay, so United Capital is trading at 18 naira right now. If you have just 10 or 20,000, I can also recommend a stock like TIP. Okay, I can also recommend a stock if you have only 20,000 naira you're starting with. Just one. I can also recommend UBA. So you can buy United Capital, you can buy a TIP, you can buy UBA, any of them, just one. If you have 100,000, like the guy who works for me in my farm, okay, so I made him open a stockbroking account, and he had 100,000 naira to start with. So I told him to buy TIP and UBA. And he's so excited because he bought TIP when TIP was like about 20 naira or something, or 21 naira. And then he bought UBA, I think, at 40 something naira. And I told him, with this 100,000, just buy two and continue to build up the volume. Don't spread it. I say, build up the volume if possible. Get to own about 50,000 each or 100,000 of each of them. Double down on them. Keep buying only these two. Then when some more money comes in, I can now tell you to buy other things. See, because a mistake a lot of new investors make, they have 1 million naira to enter the market, and then with that 1 million, they buy 10 shares. That is terrible. So you're over diversified, you're over diluted. So if I have 1 million today, myself, okay, maybe because I've been there, I will only buy one because I'm building up. I've decided on the stocks I want to build up. So I might have 1 million today, and I decide, okay, MTN, because MTN is one of my stocks. Dangote Cement is one of them. Presco is one of them. GT Bank is one of them. Zenith is one of them. Those are some of my stocks that I continue to buy. I want to continue to buy. I have a target for myself, about how many I want to buy of each of them. So that's what you can do if you're starting out. Okay, so at this juncture, you can type any questions you have. Type them right now so I can take your questions before we round off today, because this looks like something that we would need to continue. I don't want to overload us with so much information, but you already have something that you can do. You can start doing right now. But if you have a question, type it right now in the comment section, and then I will be able to, if there's something else you want me to talk about tonight before we round off, I will be able to do that. Now, so remember, we are talking about manifesting. So it's not about manifesting. It's actually about buying assets. That's how you're going to retire. The key word is asset. Asset is ownership. That's what's going to help you retire. It's not the salary. Even if your salary is 5 million a month, you are going to retire poor. If you don't buy assets, it's a huge warning, because that's what happened to me. I earned a lot of money. I earned a lot of money working in Shell and then in Chevron, and then many of you who follow me know how transparent I have been telling you about my mistakes, terrible mistakes, so that you don't make them. And then if I had converted that salary to assets, my grammar will be very different today. My accent will be very, very different, as I'm talking to you. I wanna go take a sip of juice or something, hey man, my accent will be very different. But right now you can see how my accent is sounding because I made those mistakes. So there are other assets. Okay, so the last thing I want to mention, there are other assets that apart from dividend yielding stocks, we also have what we call bonds. You also have what we call, apart from dividend paying stocks, you have bonds, you have treasury bills, you have exchange traded funds, you have money market funds. We can take time and go through this as you follow the channel. Machine can also be a very important asset. Machine can produce cash flow for you. So you can go to China and bring in a machine that makes coconut oil, that cold presses coconut oil. You can bring in a machine, or you can even have a locally fabricated machine. Like they were telling me the other day, I wanted to have several machines that process cassava around my farm. But the problem was who to operate it. But indeed, there's a huge demand because small farmers and smallholder farmers harvest their cassava. They're looking for where to process it, and they pay and have your engine do that. And then you make money on a daily basis. Beautiful everyday money process. So you also have real estate. So where you have rental property that brings in money day and night. And then another sweet one, which I invested in, because a lot of people say, oh, getting into real estate requires a lot of upfront capital, like huge capital. But then there's what we call real estate investment trust, REIT. You can invest in REIT. For instance, there's the one I invested in is called a UPDC REIT. UPDC REIT. Now, the REIT is a kind of fund where the people who have this real estate, different properties, commercial properties, residential properties, they pool investments together. So you invest in them and they now share, they distribute the profit that they get from all those. So I invested in real estate investment trust. Instead of going to build a house somewhere in Abuja, somewhere that I'm not, because managing this things can be very challenging. So I decided, okay, UPDC is already doing that. They already have rental properties, so I can invest in them. And then I think it's twice in the year, they pay. There are other REITs. I think there's one that pays 4 times in a year. Don't quote me. But basically, REITs allow you to invest in real estate without having that. Then businesses are also assets. Businesses are also assets because they bring income. And again, another one I really like very much, digital assets. So you can create a course, can create PDF, some really valuable thing, and put it online, put it on seller, and then make money from it. So those are assets. Everybody, I want you to be asset oriented. I want you to sleep thinking asset. I want you to wake up thinking asset, not thinking about iPhone, not thinking about what car you are going to buy. My goodness. I see cars, people advertising cars on TikTok. Beautiful cars. Oh, if you come, I'll give you this one at 16 million. Come, I'll give you. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, I've been there, done that. Put that money, delay gratification. If you can trek for a couple more years, put that money in investments and trek. There's nothing, because a lot of us just want to appear rich and appear that we are doing okay. people will hail us and things like that, and then you're impressing people, but you're going to pay for it because that money is supposed to be seed that you should sow, that you should invest. And then you use the proceeds of investment to buy all these things that you're talking about, your iPhone and all that. Don't just use your capital like that. I personally call it capital cannibalization. A lot of people are cannibalizing their capital. Okay, so let me take a few questions. At Modinato Jola, I'm sorry if I murdered the name. So good evening, sir. Which platform would you recommend to open a stock account for those in diaspora? Use exactly the one I showed you. You can open with so I have many people in the diaspora in my financial fitness challenge, my mentorship group. Many people, that mentorship group, we have like 500 people from across the world. Many Nigerians who live in the UK, in the US, in Canada, in Germany, different places. And I deliberately created that community so that you can help one another. So use the one that I demonstrated today. That will be fine. You have access to it. Like I was in the States. I was, not too long ago I was visiting North Carolina and Houston, and I was managing my my stock portfolio, buying and selling, uh, redoing my portfolio from Houston. So I don't know where you live, but it's exactly. I mean, it's on the internet, so you can use that. Norma says, "What is the difference between growth stock and income stock?" Okay, income stock basically are there are two ways you earn money from the stock market. Two major ways. Okay, there may be other ways, but the two main ways. Number one is your capital appreciation. So you buy Zenith Bank for 69 naira, and now it's selling at 120. So your capital has appreciated. It's appreciated from 69 naira to 120. So if you are selling, you are having a profit of that 120 minus 69. The other way that you make money from the stock market is through dividends. So you get dividend when the company does well. When the company does well, and then they have profit, they distribute that profit among their shareholder. And then different companies have different dividend policies. First Bank just came up with one that is, sweeping the whole place. I think they said 60% or something, of their profit will be distributed to shareholders. So your income stock produces dividends, for you. Growth stock produces, capital appreciation, and then many times it's not only growing, it's also paying dividends. For instance, tip January last year, tip was like 2 naira, 3 naira. January 2025. And then today, tip is about 30 naira, 20 something naira, like 30 naira. So you can imagine that. So, and tip is actually a growth stock, because if you notice when I was doing the demonstration, I showed you the stocks in the growth board. So I hope that helps. J-Light Deba says, please, is there any difference between stocks and mutual fund? Yes, there is. Stock, like I explained, the parts of a business, a company, divides itself into different parts that people buy into. Mutual fund is a pooled fund, is a managed fund. So maybe like IBTC mutual fund takes money from investors, and then they invest the money for you. They invest the money. I believe that they invest it in stocks as well. So they are the ones making the decision for you. Then at the end of a year or something, they they pay you whatever profit that they made. So that is the difference. The mutual fund is managed, a fund that is pooled together, and then different people contribute to that pool, which the fund manager now invests and then share the profits. How to register for the financial fitness challenge? Okay, so let me give you the okay, so just look right now at the chat, and then save the link. So that's where you're going to register, and it's very, very automatic. Once you enroll, it will automatically add you to the Telegram group, like right now that we're speaking. And then when you go there, it's a fantastic community. Ask your questions, whatever you want to know about funds, American stocks. People are sharing all kinds of incredible knowledge in that group. Because wealth, especially when you're in the later half of your life, you do not have the luxury of time to figure out everything by yourself. Imagine me, I'm 60, trying to figure out all these things. So I belong to a group where, I can get the information like this instead of having to wait for 5 years to get some information, also get some education. Just plunge yourself into the group and then ask your questions, and the people will answer you. People are very helpful there. And then people are asking questions like, okay, I have my share certificates, how do I materialize them or dematerialize them? My father had stocks and then he died. How do I, such questions. And then people are answering you. So instead of trying to figure everything out by yourself. So I've put the link there. Using bank transfer. Yes, you will see bank transfer, when you go to that link. Tunde Ojo 616 says, I bought some units of SFS REIT some years ago and I'm happy with their dividends. Fantastic. That's a testimonial to what we are talking about. Okay, that's a testimonial to what we're talking about. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to announce that I want to do a 40-day sprint. I need you to watch, so it's going to be like a total makeover to take you from wherever your financial situation is today, like in 40 days. I came up with this idea because many times, some religious bodies are doing 40 days fast. And then after 40 days, they have spiritual breakthroughs and all that. And I see that a lot of people are in need of financial breakthrough. And people in their 50s, in their 60s, still struggling. The other day I saw a video of a 68-year-old man lamenting that at 68, he has to struggle to go find money to pay. That he had worked for 30 years as a teacher, over 30 years as a teacher, retired, and then discovered that his money ran out before his age. Because many of us listening to me now, you are in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and even 60s. And the likelihood that you will still be here in another 30 years is high. We are all living longer these days, despite all the challenges in the world. We are living longer. In recent times, I've been attending funerals, in the past couple of years. Funerals of people who died at 105, 103, and 99, 96. My mother-in-law herself, died at 95. Living long. And you don't want your money to run out of your years. You can imagine if you're in your 70s and then you're totally dependent. You're totally dependent. Gone were the days where we used to say, okay, our children are our insurance, they are our financial retirement plan. No, children are not, because these days they also have their own issues. And no loving parent actually wants to be a burden. And I'm not saying that children should not take care of their parents. It's African, that's the way we do it. But you don't want to be so in such a situation that you can't even take care of anything. You should be able to, like, you are 75, you're 80, you want to go for medical checkup in Europe or in China or in Vietnam or in Thailand, all these places, you should be able to foot it. And you can use the next 1, 2, 3, 5 years of aggressive investing. I'm going to talk more about aggressive investing. Because if you're in your 50s, you can't invest the way a 25-year-old is investing. You can't. If a 25-year-old starts investing like 5,000 naira a month, for you to catch up by the time he's 60 and the time you're 60, that 5,000 naira a month, you probably need to be investing like 5 million a month. So that aggressive investing, to get to that stage, as a 50-year-old, as a something year old, so that as you're retiring, you will retire strong. That's why I'm talking about asset. So as we close tonight, go to the comment section. Tell me which asset you will start building tonight. Tell me if you already have a stockbroking account, which stock you are very, very interested in. And then if you haven't subscribed to this channel this much, please do that right now. Take a moment and do that. I will really appreciate that. And then share this thing with some people who are still out there waiting to manifest, and then doing this year is my year of breakthrough. No, it's your year of breakthrough, but you must buy assets. Okay, so it's been wonderful being with you. Please share it, like it, share it with people. And then when I start the 40-day financial makeover, watch out too, because I'm going to come up with the information. I will share it across my social media handles. I will share it on LinkedIn. I will share it on YouTube here. I will share it on Instagram. I will share it on TikTok. My handle is Ogbo Awoke Ogbo across all social media. Whatever happens, ladies and gentlemen, I love you all. Keep showing up, because you still don't have any idea what this universe has in store for you. And then I'll see you in the next live program. Good night.